Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's jump into some TA. Alright guys, I'm going to start the video off by saying, hey, we have PCE tomorrow. Alright, that is ultimately going to be dictating where we go. I'm going to go over, what I think going into that event, but I'm definitely going to remind everyone, hey, alright, that thing comes in really hot. You're going to get a big fat red candlestick tomorrow. You get a gap down. That thing comes in not so hot, probably going to launch. If it comes in tame, you're probably also going to see the technicals play out that I am going to point out in this video. All right, so if you get a tame or a cool PCE tomorrow, that is when we could look for upside. If you do not, that is when you are probably going to be continuing this pullback. All right, I do think, it's going to be a higher low pullback, but no, all right, that catalyst is going to bring a deeper pullback. It's probably going to bring QQ right into here, right off the bat, if that thing comes in hot. So there's definitely something to keep in mind there. Okay, all right, let's start over here with SPY. First things first, guys. All right, you did end up filling that gap. First things first, you are right where we were pointing out yesterday, all right? I did think it was likely that we are going to be at least revisiting right here, and you're either going to get buyers stepping in right here in this zone, all right? Or you're going to get buyers stepping up over here on QQQ in the zone. It is one or the other. Both are going to be retesting the previous all-time high. I'm not saying QQ is going to, because if you have a cool PC, then it's not going to get down there. But that is, exactly what we're paying attention to. It's either going to happen over here on SPY or it's going to happen over on QQ. Now, we come over here to IWM, and I am going to point out you're actually back testing your broken, actually, we'll put that arrow back on. All right. I haven't moved that arrow. All right. So we were looking for a back test of that. You're clear as day have sellers stepping in where buyers were stepping in previously. The tides have changed, okay? You also are testing your golden pocket there, guys, all right? If you want, a really easy, continuous tool that you can be using every single day on these charts, golden pocket, from here down to here, okay? Or here down to here, you came back up and you test the golden pocket, okay? So there's one go. There's one solid rep of the golden pocket. Well, what happened then? Putting this high, putting this low, you came back up and you're testing the golden pocket, all right? Just, use the things that works, guys. All right. This is something that is going to help you follow the price action. If the opposing side is going to step in just like they did over here, it's going to happen in the golden pocket. If not, you're going to get 100% retracement with all likelihood. Okay. So you take out 206 here, you're probably getting all the way up here. Even though you got this zone here, you're probably just going to melt right through it, which honestly, I'm going to clean up a chart and take that off because yeah, if you break above 206, then yeah, you're probably just going to come straight up here. So that's the level that we're going to be paying attention to up here. It's going to be 207.09. All right. So above 206, you're looking for 207.09. All right. So IWM does not have big tech in it. All right. They do not share the same components as SPY QQQ. All right. You did have DIA over here. CRM decided to absolutely tank this bad boy overnight. All right. So this thing took this thing down into the crapper. You are now at the 0.786 fib. Your daily RSI is getting down here. I told you guys this day right here, you're either going to start bouncing back in the golden pocket or you are going to be coming down here and you're just going to get a big bounce from down here. All right. And I'm not, sure what happens down there, but I am going to point out you have that, you have that. What happens if you come down here, you get a big bounce back up, and you do that, you're going to have a big old head and shoulders pattern. Not saying that's going to happen, but, if you come down here, that is, going to be something that is potentially setting up going into the coming, weeks/months, 2 months. All right. So something we could be paying attention to. But you come back over here to SPY. All right. As of right now, okay, you do have buyers stepping in. But I'm not going to really say it's all too convincing here. You do have your hourly RSI sitting in oversold territory, or it's just above there. Typically, you do get your bounces back. So I'm not saying, it's a sustained bounce. It could just be a dead cat bounce. It very much so could. Just like that was a dead cat bounce. You retested, the bottom of the range we were pointing out here. You retested that. Sellers held the line, and you came back down here. All right. So it could just be a dead cat bounce, just like this. You'll lower high, come lower. All right. Just like this. Lower high, you come lower. Come over here. All right. You didn't get really much of a bounce at all over here. Okay. But this is kind of where your RSI is sitting right now, your hourly RSI. All right, so we do look for the bullish divergence over here on the 15-minute time frame. This is something I told you over here. I was telling you guys, hey, this is not normally what I see. I normally see it come over here before you get anything, decent coming out of this. We were saying it very well could just be a dead cat bounce before you have a larger pullback. You did end up getting that larger pullback. If you come down here, take out that low. Doesn't really how much, it literally doesn't matter how much you undercut that low, as long as this thing holds above there and you have a bullish divergence put in down here, I'm going to be bullish on it. This is where I was looking for buyers to step in originally. I wanted to price the retest over here, and you were looking for buyers there, or I was looking for buyers there. And now we potentially do have the thing we were talking about a few days ago. It's setting up. All right. So that's that. Over here on QQ, you have the same thing. All right. Now, you do have buyers stepping in right now. I don't know if they're going to let you get down here, but that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for. If you undercut this low, it doesn't matter how much you undercut this low. Okay. I understand you're going to be in no man's land right here. You are. But if you do this and you get that bullish divergence, and it very much so can go something like this, and maybe then we dump. I don't know. All right. Because then you do have the previous all-time high all the way down here at 44934. And this is definitely something that, this is what I was saying. On this pullback, we're bullish on the pullback because it's just going to put in some bullish structure. You broke out to a new high. You come back, you're going to have a higher low. It doesn't matter where it's going to be. You're going to have a higher low. With all likelihood, it's going to be here, or SPY, it's going to be in here. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how PCE is going to come out tomorrow, but that's going to dictate which scenario we really get here. All right, still have 2 targets that have not been hit on this push yet. So I do think it's likely that, yeah, we put in the higher low, we go higher. So that's what I am really looking for over here. VIX, you do have sellers stepping in this heavily traded zone over here. You did get VIX spiking earlier than I thought. I thought we were going to come down and undercut that low and put it in a daily bullish divergence, which you just still haven't done. Oh, you did do it. I did not pay attention. You did have a bullish divergence. Deadass did not pay attention. I will not lie. Okay. There you go. So you do have the daily bullish divergence that we were pointing out. See all these arrows? All right. This is what I was saying. You typically do end up getting that bullish divergence. Like a lot of the times when your RSI gets past a certain point. We did end up getting it. I definitely let it slip my mind over here. But yeah, you got it right here. Okay. You undercut the low. That's something to point out, but you are getting sellers step in this heavily traded zone. We've had the zone for a very long time here. Okay, you go all the way back to 2021. You just keep getting your reactions in the zone. Break above it, reaction. Break above it, reaction. Sell through it. Okay, sell down, sell. Break and retest. Okay, sold. Now you're selling into it. Okay, so that is something to pay attention to. You got SMH over here. Told you guys. All right, you're bullish on this pullback. I really don't see a reason to be bearish on the pullback. I don't think there's any underlying reason to be bearish yet. And guys, all right, NVIDIA could end up taking the market down. It could. But you got the split right around the corner. It really, you don't have too much time between here and here. And I just don't think people are going to be aggressively selling into that. Not really reason to. It's something to be bullish about, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but fundamentally speaking, all right, the split was something that was going to draw more hype and more investors into the stock. Maybe they are going to take it. So, but then again, it's like, the same money could be put in here than over there. And I think after the split happens, you probably are going to see a positive reaction to that. So that's that. All right, but coming back over here to SPY, let's just go over what we're paying attention to. Down here, 520.75. Would be where you broke up from over here, and then from there you based above it, and then you pushed through the all-time high. So that is the bottom of my zone here that I'm looking for buyers to step in. Again, you're just looking for that 15-minute bullish divergence down there. You really are. Okay, QQ, same thing. It does not matter. It doesn't even matter if you do all that. It doesn't. Maybe you push back up, this thing gets a little higher, and then you do have room to aggressively, sell down to here. That would be a pretty decent size move down from right now. That's another %. Okay. So maybe I honestly don't think just looking at this, I think that thing's going to be burned if you come down here, but it very much so could do something like this where you sell down, and from there you reset it again. All right, so it would look something like that, and then it would do that. All right, it very much so could do that, and that's something I'll be watching for. Right here, you know, if I say downside is limited, in my personal opinion, it is. Okay. Hey, maybe I'm going to be completely wrong, but you know, I'm going to see things on the chart, and I will continuously call the things on the chart, and that's what I'm seeing right now. That's that. And like I said, over here on DIA, you know, guys, you could get some more downside, but it's not much more downside before you look for the big bounce. The daily RSI is going to be oversold, and then you look for the big bounce. Okay, IWM, it's not necessarily looking bearish. You are back testing that, you know, previous uptrend here that was being respected. That is true. Okay. But if you were to come down into the golden pocket, told you guys I'm looking for buyers. Downside is limited in my personal opinion. All right. That's really all I got for you today. Let's just go over how some of these big guys are looking for going into this event tomorrow. Okay, the catalyst. Still stalling out on your downtrend there. Meta, this is something I actually do want to point out to you guys. Break and retest off of the previous downtrend. Okay. I do think this is a buy from right here. All right. Like exactly right here. I think this is a solid. I think this is your buying opportunity if you want to get long Meta. All right. I personally don't want too much long exposure going into tomorrow because I have a decent amount. I don't want it. So I'm not going to take it. All right. You got that going on. And then you come over here, Amazon. All right, guys, you're still just dancing around right here. I'm not necessarily going to call this pretty. You kind of do have this little bear flag going on right here. But yeah, positive PC. That's going to, you know, it's going to say screw this bear flag. You're probably going to get that gap up. That would be that. All right. Now, this thing is a little bit of a troll right there. It definitely is. Okay. You actually end up, if you just, you know, extend that trend line right there and you're not paying attention to the hourly chart, if you look only on the daily, you actually didn't get the breakout from this falling wedge. You are coming into the bottom of it. I wouldn't necessarily be, you know, super bearish on these things. I don't think you got a reason to. Goog, all right. Where are you watching over here on Goog? Gonna be right there. All right, coming right into it. Microsoft is the one I really want to put on your radar. That and Meta. You're coming into the zone. This is where I was looking for buyers. I haven't moved this arrow since I want to say like right here, that day right there. All right, you did start losing your uptrend. Came down. Break and retest between 518.35 and 513. I'm looking for buyers step back in. Okay. And then we're looking for these guys. That's that. Now I am going to point out this thing right here. This thing, you could have literally longed every single possible dip you got over here since we played it over here. I really wish I just, you know, hey, I wish, you know, your boy Henry just held on to what he had down here. I really do, because this is absolutely amazing. All right, this thing is pushing towards $100. All right, market pushing towards $100. It wants it. Come over here to the weekly chart. You close out with this thing, it's going higher next week. All right, right over here had similar volume. Right over here you had similar volume. I'm not saying, you know, much higher, but it's probably going to keep ticking higher. All right, and I would argue that what's going on right now is very different than what happened over here. Okay, did have a big move down here, but you know, things are really heating up. Things are in these what do we want to call this? We'll just call it explosive. There was a word I was looking for, but it's not explosive. But we're gonna say it's, you know, that things are getting really explosive up here. All right, things are catching a lot of momentum. There's that. You got over here. Okay, next week you did end up going, you know, that's a 10% move. So I'm not saying it goes much higher, but I do think $100 is going to be hit. And I am definitely going to be bullish on this pullback. I will continue looking for that pullback on Mr. Cava over here. But in reality, you could have bought anywhere on this thing, and you know, it just would have kept printing money. All right, so that's that. Along this daily 9, you get the chance to buy the daily 9. All right, there's your first opportunity there. The next one is going to be at 80.33. That is that. Tesla kind of had a FU kind of day to both sides here. Okay, you had this big move off the open. All right, I thought it was going to start pushing straight up. I thought like, oh, holy crap, it's Tesla's time. Nope. Then it went like that, and now you're like that. Okay, so now you're only like $3 off the highs. Big FU to both sides over here. That is what's going on Mr. Tesla. Okay, now this is one that I am going to say is a troll, but I am still going to say I do think, you know, right over here, this is where it's going to be bottoming out, and then it's probably going to be, you know, having a decent sized reversal here. From that reversal right there. All right, $70. That's what we're looking for over there. All right, guys. So that is what I got for you today. We'll give a little update on Oxy, guys. This thing is not setting up in the way that I wanted it to do so. I know you're like right here at the perfect spot. I do think you're going to come down a little lower, with all honesty. Now you have the inverted hammer. Yeah, all right. I just wanted a hammer candlestick. I wanted, something showing that buyers are stepping down here. You don't got it right now. Nike is one that finally got its breakout. We've been pointing out, I actually told you yesterday that I was going to stop even watching this thing. We're going to stop talking about it. I'm still going to say Nike's a troll. I think there are better things to play. Okay. But I will say I finally did get the breakout. So maybe there's a chance all the trollness is going to die down now. I don't know. All right. We'll come over here, update coin. Guys, it's still honestly not looking bad. I'm just going to say, you come over here, the bit of corn, and bit of corn is still just dancing around the same exact spot we were saying needs to hold. It's either here, it's going to hold this trend line. I really don't know at this point, but coin, I wanted you to at least, like, if you were going to pull back, stop dancing around, pull back. Give us those opportunities. All right, that is that. Steel SK, another one that's still just dancing around that, break and retest over here, right? So that is something to point out. Last one we're going to cover is Morrow. All right, still just dance around the break and retest right in between our, two levels here that make up our zone. Okay, if you pull back, you watch the golden pocket. But honestly, guys, these Bitcoin miners, they don't look bad at all. The Bitcoin stocks look good. Okay, they look good. Everything looks honestly not so bad. They just don't. Not to me. All right, maybe you look at things a little differently than me. We all, have different opinions here. But from what I'm looking at, things really don't look all too bad. And even if you do pull back a little bit, it's fine. All right. QQ is probably going to find buyers down here. And how are you going to know that the buyers are likely about to step in? You're going to see a bullish divergence get put on this 15-minute RSI. It doesn't have to get put in. If you have, a cool PC tomorrow, then it's probably not going to get put in. You probably have a decent gap up. And then all the people that were pointing out this big red bar over here, you'd be like, oh, crap. It was another one. It was another one of, I'm not going to call this. This did, lead to a lot more downside, all right? That's what I was personally saying. It reminded me of this guy right over here. But, guys, you've had a lot of these red bars and these pullbacks just get completely, demolished. And I'm going to be honest, weekly chart. Take all the stuff off. You had this big correction. Okay, 8%. If sellers were going to take it further, they would have stepped in the golden pocket and they would have taken it further down. And honestly, from that point, it wouldn't have been much lower. It would have just taken some time. All right. Big correction. Breakout to new all-time high. Proves that this is a correction. Okay. The trend is still up on the weekly time frame. Monthly chart. Monthly candlestick is going to close out tomorrow. Guess what? Low volume. Don't necessarily like that. What I do like is you have a bullish engulfing candlestick. Does this not look like this guy? Like this guy. Doesn't look like that guy. All right. Let's see. Like it doesn't necessarily, it looks like that guy. It doesn't look bad, is what I'm saying. It really doesn't. So this is what I'm seeing. You come over here to SPY. All right. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. PC is going to put in a large upper wick here, or it is going to, make this come back up here probably. And it's one or the other. Okay. And then you have a wide bodied, no wick, green candlestick. All right. Bullish engulfing candlestick. Not going to look bad. Yeah, this thing has looked like poop. All right. So that's that. DIA does not have the same components. IWM does not have the same components. At the end of the day, IWM also doesn't look too bad. And we might be seeing rotation, guys. All right. Why did IWM really not partake in the, gap down? And it was actually capping up. Rotation. All right. Like, I know it doesn't have the same components. So that's, obviously a reason there. But if that wasn't the case, if we weren't seeing rotation, then we probably would have seen IWM just stay flat, not gap up. Because QQ, I understand they gap down because they have the same components over there. Okay. QQ obviously way heavier in tech, but all right. IWM, if we weren't seeing rotation, it would have just stayed down here. And then maybe you pushed intraday. No, you got the gap up. So people probably rotated into small caps. Just a, thing I noticed this morning. So there you go. All right, guys, that is what I got for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. With that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Go follow the Twitter. I'll be active over there. And peace.